So we're here to talk about what is a painful day, seeing Bruno Guimarães leaving the football club. But most importantly, what is a new beginning. And while it's a painful day and it's conflicting feelings when it comes to Bruno, the biggest point in this is Newcastle have sealed this chapter. It's done and we can move on from this, with Matthias Jaissle finally being announced. And what I want to talk to you today is through a little bit of the Bruno stuff, but what I actually feel where we are as a football club now and where this future is going. And I feel really passionately about this one, so make sure you stick around. It's going to be a good one. But before we start, I just want to say you guys have absolutely blown me away in the last 24 hours. I honestly can't believe it. I sat here last night and said, I need one more subscriber to hit 2,000. I went to sleep. I woke up in the morning. I was at 2,600. By the time I got back from work, I was at 2,900. I am now only 69 subscribers away from being at 3,000. And I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe how quickly last night's video has trended up and how much fantastic comments, fantastic debate we've had over the last 24 hours. And I just want to say thank you to all of you because it means so much to me. And if you are new around here, get down there, like, hype, subscribe, do all the good things. This is Two for Joy. I'm Adam, and let's talk about Bruno. So obviously, the situation with Bruno, everybody's going to feel differently. Bruno leaving the football club, if I'm honest, it's a sad day. But one of the biggest reasons this club went from fighting relegation to Champions League football and winning a trophy is because of this guy. And I kind of feel like I'm in the ballpark of I'll never forget it. And I understand why he wants to go at the age he is. And most of all, sometimes football isn't about fairy tales. It's about business. It's about being ruthless. And it's about doing what you need for the club. And that's where I feel we are. And the biggest narrative around Bruno is that he only wanted Arsenal. Now, I don't believe this. I'll be honest, and this is not me putting Arsenal down, but I don't believe this for a minute. I don't think modern football works like that. And I think if Manchester City had won the title last season and they needed a midfielder and Bruno was the target that they pushed, I think Bruno would be at Man City. I think if Liverpool had won the title last season and he was the guy they wanted, he'd be at Liverpool. The same if it was Chelsea. And this isn't about one club. It's about timing and it's about ambition. And it's about securing the biggest deal he can get in the moment. And having gone to the World Cup and Gabriel been in his ear, Arsenal are available. And that's why I think this whole narrative started. And this is the reality of modern football. And we have to be completely honest. Most of us would do exactly the same. If someone came and knocked on my door tomorrow and said, do you know what, I'll pay you double the money and give you every opportunity under the sun to do the same job that you're doing now, a lot of us would have a very difficult decision to make. But would it be that difficult for double the money? And people forget footballers are just human beings. The money is a big spinner, whether you like it or not. And as much as we want players to buy into our football club because we love that football club, we love this team like no one would understand. But at the end of the day, business is business. And as painful as this is, I actually think this deal works for everyone. Arsenal get a £100 million midfielder for what feels like a cut price. But Newcastle get to sell a midfielder that is at peak age for a huge fee that we need to reinvest across this squad. We desperately need to reinvest and rebuild this team. And we've maximised his value. So, realistically, Newcastle, I feel, have actually done a good job with this transfer. As much as we'd have liked it to be in the 80, 85, I actually feel the 75, 77 is actually a really decent fee. And now it's just our job to reinvest it properly. And there is a big key factor in this, where this is where I feel that most players won't understand, but fans will. There's one thing that Bruno, no matter where he went, wouldn't find going to another club. And that is the love. That is the real football love. That is, Newcastle don't just support players. We adopt them. We make them family. We sing their names. We buy their dads a pint in the pub. We celebrate their children. They aren't just footballers to us. They're heroes. They're legends. They're gods. Because they're ours. And that is the thing with Newcastle. Because they're ours. We're so passionate about our players. And as much as Bruno might feel like he's making the right move for his career, Arsenal fans aren't going to sing his name in the same way we did. They're not going to care whether he kisses the badge. They're not going to buy in. He's just another one. He's never going to be Thierry Henry to them. He's just going to be another midfielder that they'll forget about in 5 years' time when they sign the next one. And realistically, that's the difference of playing for Newcastle. That is the difference, that all these players, when they move on, they'll never get that feeling back. They'll never get that love back from a fan base that they do when they're at the Toon. And my future with Newcastle, where I feel we are, is one of optimism. And I know I got a message last night from a friend of mine who's an Arsenal fan, who sent me a message saying Newcastle's odds have been cut to 10-1 to be relegated. And my first message back to him was, watch next season. Because I guarantee I'll be the one saying to you, what were those odds? Because I genuinely believe this club isn't desperately holding on to yesterday in the way it was. We will be younger, we will be hungrier, we will be faster, we will be more athletic, and the players will have the hunger, the desire, and everything to prove. And realistically, this is where I feel Newcastle should be heading with our new manager. And seeing Matthias Jaissle, meeting up with Malik Chow and Nick Voltmada, and I can see in Nick Voltmada's body language, he's standing there looking and going, you're my guy. You're the guy that's going to give me my career back. You're the guy that's going to make me back into the talent I was before I arrived at Newcastle under Eddie Howe. And to me, this needs to be that Newcastle stop looking over our shoulder. We need to stand up and take some accountability for our actions and say, do you know what? This club has been mismanaged over the last 2-3 seasons. We have fucked up. We have made problems for ourselves. But now we're in the ballpark. We're in the right track. We're doing the right things. And this season we're going to stand up and take accountability for what we've done. Ross Wilson and the new manager Matthias Jaissle are there to prove something. They're there to prove that this club is going forwards and not backwards. And I genuinely believe this season will be like no other in the way that we need to go back to, like I said, being underdogs, but going into every game with something to prove. Going into every game with a big middle finger saying, fuck you Premier League, fuck you Big Six. We're here as the biggest club in the North East, and we're going to stand up and we're going to take account of what we've done and show you that we're worth every second on this football pitch in every game. And I think you'll see that from Matthias Jaissle. I think this guy he's here to prove something. But he's worked under the Saudis before. He knows this ownership. He knows he's trusted. He knows he's coming into an environment where he will have the full backing of the board. They wouldn't have brought him from Al Ahly to Newcastle if they didn't believe. And I genuinely believe this season is going to be a special one. And it may not go off to a perfect start. And we may not, be plain sailing back up into the Champions League positions. But with no expectation, we can go out there and show that we are something different. We are a new beast, a new animal. And we're going to prove ourselves in this Premier League with young, hungry, exciting players who've got a chip on their shoulder to come into this league and say, actually, Bruno wasn't proven when he came in. Sandro wasn't proven when he came in. Isak wasn't proven when he came in. Even Gordon wasn't proven at Everton. These kids are here to do exactly the same thing as they did. They're here to become stars. And looking at Newcastle Football Club, when I see people online say no one's ever going to want to sign for them again, well, why not? If you sign for Newcastle, you might get a move to Barcelona. You might get a move to Liverpool. You might get a move to Arsenal because we produce top talent. We produce players that may have outgrown this club, but we get the money for it as well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like I say, guys, thank you so much for all the kind words, all the comments, all the opinions. I've really enjoyed sharing the opinions. I've got 2 more members. I will definitely do something for members soon enough. Thank you to you guys. Like I say, let me know if you agree, disagree, or don't care. Let me know in the comments, guys, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.